Thank you for taking your time to watch me. Well, what I want to talk about today is something called conscious mind. But before I focus on conscious mind, I want to mention mental power. And your mental power is your ability to be able to build things, to deliver, to be able to show up for whatever it is you want to create. For everything that we want to create in life, it depends on the strengths of our mind. And that's what I call mental power. But the mental power depends on 5 things, and this is your conscious mind, your imagination, your intuition, your subconscious, and your memory. All of these things contribute to how powerful your mind becomes. But in this part, I want us to focus mainly on conscious mind. When I did my mental analysis, I wanted to be able to see what is happening. It's because I hit a plateau. So everything of mine wasn't moving as I planned. So many things were on the move at the same time. But nothing seemed to work. So I zoomed my focus to try to make things work, and they were not working. And so I said, how do I rise in this situation? And so I paid an interest on increasing the strength of my conscious mind, which contributed 20% of the functions of my mind. And I took on a journey to commit myself for a couple of months to learn everything that it required for me to increase my conscious mind. I want to start with a story to put in certain points. In that journey, one time I was sleeping and I was meditating through the night about how I can increase my conscious mind. And 3 beings appeared. I would either call it was an illusion or a dream or a vision. But what happened here was it was a strong light and everything became. At that moment, it was kind of like confusing for me. I cannot turn this way, neither that way. But there's light from behind. And a voice started saying, everything is looking for attention and collaboration. Pay attention. And that was the opening line in that dream that I had. And then these 3 beings took me with them. It took me to the galaxies in the space where it looked like there was nothing. Maybe I could see stars from the distance. It's beautiful, but it's just a blank, dark space with spots of lights and beautiful things. And one of the voices said, just because you're looking around here that you're not, it looked dark and it looked like there's an empty space, does not mean there is nothing in this space. And they told me again, everything is looking for attention and collaboration. Pay attention. And so one of them told me, look at those particles that are moving. And so the particles that were moving, they zoomed them close to me. They told me, pay attention. Pick one of these particles and concentrate. And so I was trying to move like this and trying to connect with one of the particles. It became a challenge for me. How do you try to catch one particles that are tiny and they're moving at a high speed? But the voice said, everything is looking for attention. Pay attention. And so I finally grabbed one of the particles and it stopped. And when it stopped, they told me, concentrate, put your full attention on this particle, concentrate. And as I was concentrating on the particle, the particle became clear, and inside it there was other things that were moving in the particle, little tiny other particle. And they told me, now that you're connected with this particle, pay attention. And now say something to this particle, and it will do it for you. And so I asked the particle, make my face, and it made my face. And the particle and me begin to play like a child. It will read my mind, and I will read the next thought the particle was doing. Just imagine a particle as a thought, and I could get it. Or whatever it is it's doing, I could read the next move it wanted to create. And so what happened is, that was the lesson I was shown. And then I was back on planet Earth, or whatever it is, in that dream world, and I said, now that I've experienced this, how do I apply this in my life? And what is this? And then I got up the next day, Googling, trying to look around, what does this mean? And talking to a couple of friends. And one person told me, hey, what you just experienced in your dream or a vision is called quantum physics. It's already been done, it exists. And so, okay, but I was left with one thing here. Everything is looking for attention and collaboration. Pay attention. And I began to say, okay, how do I do that? How do I apply that? And I realized a dog requires attention. You give it full attention, it gives you more attention than you give it. A baby requires attention. Human beings out there require attention. People who are hurting inside, there's a lot going on in their mind, and they're looking for attention. And they'll use different ways. People who are angry either will bang on buildings or will do outrageous things. They're looking for attention. A thief is looking for attention. Or whatever person is making something positive is looking for attention. And then I say, okay, that means how can I apply this in my life? And how can I increase that? How can I pay more attention to people I meet? And so I look at it as, when I meet somebody and they talk, I want to give them that full attention. And when I gave them, and when I practiced that, they gave me back full attention, and it became like a connection. But that's what the story was about. I got that story because I was going on a journey to increase my conscious mind. But what is conscious mind? Why do you have to have a strong conscious mind? Now it takes me back to a point I want to put across, which is called conscious awakening. A lot of people conscious are asleep. What I mean is, we cannot handle the challenges that we're facing every day with our current tools, with the solutions that we're providing every day. We can't handle that. In order for us to be able to handle those challenges, we have to experience a level of conscious awakening. And there, we will be able to see things differently. We're able to manage our way of life differently. And a conscious mind, or an awakened conscious, how will I look at it is, it's a state of awareness where you continue to raise your standard. Or let me phrase it this way. It's a state of awareness that continue to raise your standard in thinking, planning, organization, compassion, wisdom, knowledge and understanding, strategy, and using it to produce positive outcome. And so the point I really want to push across, which actually made a lot of sense for me, was a traumatized mind or a poor mindset cannot think or reason or go project their mind 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, 1 year, 6 months. They engage on the day-to-day issues. Their mental bandwidth is tiny. They're just acting on intuitions and emotion, and they can't engage their mind to think. So the conscious mind is that part of the mind that is responsible for thinking, for planning, for strategy, for organization, for visualization. It can zoom to our past, to our present, to the future, and find things that it can use to make our life better. It's also responsible for reprogramming our subconscious mind. It learned differently. So a conscious and a working conscious, which is what I want to put across here, is that conscious that is constantly collecting data. It's always curious. It wants to know. It requires information. It's the part of the mind that does the difficult stuff. For example, 1 + 1 is 2. That's easy. But this part of the conscious mind is the one that is responsible for, let's say, 5 × 5 - 2 divided by 10 by 6. Now that's crazy. The conscious mind, it is the one that is responsible for manifestations of our dreams. For nothing exists in this physical world without first existing in our mind. Each one of us has a vision, has ideas, has dreams. There are things they want to bring here. But a lot of people just live in their head, but don't have that power to bring it out. Let me share what the conscious mind would do. When it is very strong, you're driving in traffic and somebody just cut you. Now what your conscious mind will tell you, hey, this is not worth shouting for. Just conserve your energy and move forward. And how would the conscious mind act like? Let me show you how powerful the conscious mind is. It's a strategist. When you train it properly, it can take you far. It will make you become like a coward. Now, a coward would say, how can I slap this person without them slapping me back? And they'll do a lot of thinking. Now, if I slap them and I miss them, what about if they punch me? I am done. So what do I have to do? Can I get somebody to slap this person for me? But what about if they know that I got that person to slap for them? So they'll do thinking. They'll do a 360 approach in order to get that person or to get whatever it is it wants. So now the conscious mind will tell you it's time to be patient, and you become patient. Or the conscious mind will make you understand that the future is going to be painful. You rather take this pain in the present now, so that in the future you can live a better life. And this is where it can train you to be work ethic. It can train you to learn how to make great choices. It can program your subconscious to do those habits you want to create. So I did my mental analysis and I came to realize that my conscious mind was weak, and I took a couple of years to develop it. And wherever I go, now I know that for the dreams that I want to build, it's not the person outside that is preventing me. The person who's stopping me is myself. How can I get that part of my mind not to be lazy? And so how do we strengthen our conscious mind? One of the most important things is questioning. So question things. Train yourself to ask questions. That's another way. The other way is to be curious about a situation. The other thing is to just observe things. Now, one person who had a strong conscious mind, who managed to activate his imagination, was some guy called Tesla. When he goes in a place, he'll move around 3 times in that area just to observe what is around, to suck in the information before he could get either into that building. Now, if you look, the kids, young little girls or little boys, when they're growing up, their conscious mind is really active. But when you go to school, that's when it gets to be hammered down. It's getting pushed down. The conscious mind is that part that you enter into a house, you want to know what is down there, what is there. You're looking, you're observing, you want to take in information. And so, reading books is conscious mind. Picking difficult stuff just for fun. My name is Emmanuel Jal. Thank you for listening to me. And I invite you guys to subscribe to my channels on my Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel. And let's keep this going. If you have any questions, send me a question. And till now, we shall meet again. Peace is you.